My name is Rion Naus. I'm a stewardship ambassador. I'm a certified public health educator. I'm a dad, and I own and operate We Grow With LLC.
Okay, I'm just going to talk from behind the camera. So this is Colin, the camera guy.
Woo!
And helping out with marketing.
Yep.
And I wanted to tee off the conversation to kind of give a more 360 element, because the more I work with you,
Yeah, dude. Big picture.
the more I'm realizing that, okay, you have all these different products. You have the wet product. Mm-hmm. You have the dry product.
Yep.
The dry product is castings.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. And then we have the microscopes.
Yep.
And then we have the Wiggle Waddles.
Right.
And then we have the consulting.
Yes.
And it's really hard for people to wrap their head around all of this stuff and what it's all doing and what is it for. But really, they're all prescriptions, right?
Yeah. These are the tools required to do what everybody's saying they want to do.
Yeah.
And we use a biological toolbox. So nature can only do what it can do or do, right? At which point, which creature loves to do it? And let them. Cows love to eat and poop. Awesome, let them. And then dung beetles love to roll up that poop and put it in the ground.
So
awesome.
Is some of your consulting going to cattle ranchers? And because there's a lot of negative stigma amongst cattle that they are incredibly impactful on the environment, which is in some ways true if used incorrectly. But is some of your role convincing cattle ranchers that what cattle do is beneficial as long as you use it correctly?
No, there's other organizations. So this is where, if that's what they need, I'm happy to introduce you to the Savory Institute, which does amazing programs to help understand, adaptive grazing and why it's the difference between better and worse, right? Cool. What I'm trying to do is help people to realize that when we're working with the rest of nature, nature can also work on our behalf. And so then it becomes, well, what do you need to be accomplished? And then they're like, well, my cows. Okay, cool. Well, let's let cows be cows. And we need to fix the ecosystem so that we can do all about cows. And then somebody else will say it's all about wheat. Okay, cool. But it's that wheat is still grown within an ecosystem of the rest of nature. And so at that point, when you have all these other things performing their function, form and function, to preform their function, right? Then it's at that point where it becomes a lot easier because you're not doing it.
Yes.
They are. Machinery costs a lot. So if you have a plant that grows and does the same thing as that machinery plus a lot of other ecosystem functions, why wouldn't you do it this regenerative, easier, more effective, long-term, way?
And so how do people find out about your Wiggle Waddles, and how is it that you come to prescribe those things?
So the Wiggle Waddles can be utilized in several different ways. How they come to find out about it is I tell them, right? And what it is this is how nature converts a tree into soil in the most streamlined and fast forward way. And it can be mailed to you or, put on a pallet and shipped. And so if the farmer needs the result of a healthy ecosystem, they might have to wait generations for it to get there. But what if I can bring the results to their farm immediately? Then we've got a head start on those generations. We can start working with this generation and regenerate it. And so the Wiggle Waddles then allow for culture collection that focuses on fungi that then they can take and then put as part of their biome bins and then have that spread out over their whole farm. So now they have a product has been produced so that they can actually put that little labor force back to work for them and put it on every seed and every acre and put it out. But it's refining and then enhancing the best nature can do because it has stewardship. That's what this is really what it is this is the aspects of stewardship. This is how you make it better because you were there. They can have animals there all the time, but those animals are different than a herd with a shepherd, right? And so when you're talking stewardship, it's about like the plants and the ecosystem. The shepherds are the next step. And so now you're talking about livestock. So it kind of blurs that line between what is livestock, because we're talking about the microbiome. We're talking about what is helping the plants grow, what is inside the food, what goes into our bodies, and, kind of blurs that line a little bit. But that's why the microscope, so you can see it clearly. Like, these are just observation tools. And if they don't trust their eyes anymore, you got to teach them how to trust their eyes. If they don't trust their gut anymore, well, maybe it's because they have the microbiome that's all messed up with modern food and it's killed everything. They need to take probiotic and put that stuff back to work, right? And so my clients then learn to trust their eyes again, learn to trust their gut again, work with a system that's working with them, and then the results of that is healthier foods, healthier products, healthier land, healthier people. Like, this is where also the outside view is that it didn't just yield a higher number of bushels or pounds. It yielded happier people. What's your yield? Like, oh, we had time to go fishing this year. And then Rion taught us how to make fish hydrolysate out of it. So we could use the bones and, the head and stuff like that to actually feed the garden, which then goes back to feed the land, which is feeding my family. And
time to fish sounds pretty good.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's what it's like.
But the yield sounds really good too.
Yeah, the yield. Dude, but this is where yield is used in agriculture very differently than any other culture. That noise, the word yield. Like, if you go to a road sign that says yield and treat it the same way a lot of farmers treat their land, you would die. Like, that sign says proceed when appropriate or safe or when's your turn, or like, if it was a knight with a sword and says, do you yield? He's not asking how many bushels you have. Like, this, like, yes, we got 72 this year. Like, nope, it's not what he's asking. Right. And so that yield is an aspect where we do need to yield more. But this part, right? And so only in that act of stewardship, only in that act of shepherding, where that's that part, are you able to yield more. Happy, healthy. Like, it's not about a bottom line and a bank account. It's the healthy, wealthy, and wise. Like, talk about things of value, Yeah. I would rather get a box of beef in the mail from a farm growing it healthy than take the money and go to the grocery store and be limited in my options and possibly not have something as healthy. Because I'm wanting the healthy.
I think we all want it. Yeah.
Like, okay. And it should be something we all want, but then we have time constraints or scheduling or logistics and convenience, kill them with kindness, but they do it out of convenience, and, but they're still dying. Part of being a public health educator is going, but you're still dying. You just have a new label for your dying. It's called type 2 diabetes, or whatever. But I'm so glad, like, no, how about we not die? Like,
but eventually it comes down. I think what I'm trying to get across is, like, because it does come down to products eventually, of like, what is We Grow With?
Okay, so I have products because some people aren't going to do it for themselves.
Exactly. They could. A lot
and then
I
have classes and programs for people who are like, I actually want to do the most I can do. And depending on their abilities, they can do this, they can do this, they can do this, right? Sometimes people, just through circumstances, aren't able to quote unquote do anything. They live in the city in a multi-story building with but there are things. Like, even how you treat your houseplant then is how you introduce chemicals into the world around you. And if your plants are healthier, even if it is something that's growing inside, then whatever that is growing inside can be healthier for everybody who enjoys it. That's why working with Steve Cantwell in Pahrump, dude, it's all indoor. So this is how, if you're going to grow plants indoors too, this is how you should be growing plants indoors. And everything is benefiting from the results of growing with life.
What are the specific things that helped facilitate that process? Was it the biome bins? Was it the...
Oh, it's the result of things like that.
Yeah.
But it's a living system. It comprises the complete soil food web. It establishes there's never a period of time where nothing's growing. So there's always sunshine being converted into carbohydrates and pumped into the ground, right? You see what I mean? It's like there isn't a like with fields, there isn't a 6-month period where it's just dirt. Right? That's starving the whole ecosystem below that because it's not able to. Actually, it's worse than starving because of something called the Fenton reaction. Just the sun itself is breaking carbon bonds and carbon dioxide, And so anybody who has any drama connected to global warming or climate change or CO2 in the atmosphere, anything, this is the solution. This is how nature fixes that problem. We can keep whining about it, but this is how that actually gets fixed. And it has how it has always fixed, right? See what I mean? It's this is how it fixes it. It's a fixation. It's bonding these things together. Those are the results of these living systems, just like we do. It's applicable at all scales. That's why it's a through line. This is how you can do it in your home. This is how you can do it in your land. This is your community. This is how the world works. Eventually, this is how, if we're going to terraform some other planet, some weird dirt, we need the mineral component and the living component. We got to put them together. So this would be on a mission to Mars to, head start and fast track development there. It's cool.
It's cool.
But it's all real. So that's the coolest part. My name is Rion Naus. I'm a stewardship ambassador. I'm a certified public health educator. I'm a dad, and I own and operate We Grow With LLC. We Grow With helps people to differentiate between fertilizer and fertility. We use products and services. We equip people with the observation tools they need, as well as the products that make their jobs easier, allowing them to turn dead dirt into living land at any scale.